Today we're going to look at how to crop and resize an image for use on the EVSC school website's image slider on the front page. And we're going to use a program called GIMP, which stands for GNU Image Manipulation Program. And it's a free download for Mac and PC. You can download it from gimp.org. And it's got a lot of the similar tools that Adobe Photoshop has. However, I really still prefer Adobe Photoshop. So if you have Photoshop, be sure to check out my tutorial on how to use Photoshop to do the same process, because it's a little bit easier and there's a few extra little options in there you can use to go back and make changes later if you choose to, that GIMP actually doesn't have. So but anyway, this is a much better program than Paint because you have a lot more tools and it's just a lot easier to go from one step to the next. So once you have the GIMP program open, you probably will notice that you have the panels up in different sections, kind of like this, which is kind of, I don't know, it's everything's scattered. I like the program to be all in one spot. So to get the program to where all the panels are together, go up to Windows, down to single window mode. And then that will get everything all together as you see that I have it here presented. So let's go ahead and get started with getting one of our images ready to go for the image slider. Let's find the photo and get it open. So we're going to go to File, Open. The Open Image window pops up, and it's actually come to a folder and file where I've got my file saved on my desktop. So it's good to be organized, keep all your files in one spot, so that way if you need to quickly go back and forth to get things updated on your website, it's good to have like a folder on your desktop that's dedicated just to your website images. So I'm going to go ahead and come down and click Open. Step 2 is cropping the image, and we need to get our image cropped to a certain ratio to make sure that it fits properly in the box that Edline has set up for us. So come up to your tools, which are located here on the left side, and look for a tool that looks like a razor blade, which is the crop tool. So select that. Now you'll notice your tool options down here at the bottom on the left side also changed. So we are going to select Fixed Aspect Ratio, and we're going to change the aspect ratio 950. I'm going to change that 418 to 470. Make sure also that landscape is also the correct orientation for how our crop is going to look. Also come down in this panel to Highlight, and then for the guides, I'm going to choose the rule of thirds. Okay, come back over to your canvas with your mouse, hold down the left mouse button, click and drag across the picture, and then let go. Now when you're done dragging across diagonally, you'll notice that you actually get a crop area, and you also will see the outer area is a little bit dark right here. This is the area that will be cut off. So once I click enter or I click inside the crop area, the darkened area on the outside will disappear. So I'm going to go ahead and move my selection. You can move your box around just by clicking inside the crop area anywhere and moving it around. You can also resize the box just by clicking and dragging from one of the corners. You notice that there's squares when you move in those areas. Also on the sides there's rectangles, so if you want to resize from the side, you can certainly do that, or the bottom. And I'm going to go ahead and scale it like this. Now, on our school websites, the right-hand side has a gradient that appears over the pictures. And you'll notice that when you insert an image, that part of it is kind of hidden here with that gradient. So we need to make sure that we leave a decent area here that is not important that can be hidden. Now, the reason why I have the rule of thirds is you'll see that you have 2 vertical lines and 2 horizontal lines. These intersection points are the points where the eye is drawn, important areas in the picture. So in this picture, we have the camera. The camera is right now the first thing that I notice right away. Also, I notice that the girl, she's also important, but she's like a secondary point that I notice. So the camera's really kind of the first thing that I notice here. And really, anytime you take a picture for the image slider, make sure that your main subject is in this area in your photo, because the right side is closer to that gradient. It is not really the first thing that is seen and is in danger of being hidden by that gradient on the website. So once you get your photo set the way you want and you're ready to crop, either click inside this area or hit the enter key on your keyboard. All right. Now, I am done cropping. However, if I want to redo my crop, if I made a mistake, go up to, on the menu bar, Edit, Undo Crop Image. And you'll also notice one of the keyboard shortcuts is Control-Z. If you're on the Mac, it's Command-Z. Step 3. We're done with our crop. Now it's time to resize the image to make sure that it's the right size for the website. If you come down here to the bottom, you'll notice that our image size is 4.4 megabytes. That is really too large to put up on the web. It's great for printing, but not for the web. So we need to make sure that our file size is in kilobytes. And we'll do that real quick and easy with GIMP's image export. So to export the image, we're going to go up to File, down to Export As. And up pops a box here for saving it. And what I'm going to do is I'm not going to save it as the same name as what I had before, because if I decide later on I want to change my, I want to go back to the original image and redo a crop or do something else with it, I want to keep the same, or maybe I want to print it. If I save over top the old one, it's going to scale it down and it will no longer be print ready, and it'll be hard to go back and fix anything that I may have done during this process. So it's good to go ahead and save it as a new name. Plus, this name is not so nice, DSC7934. That doesn't tell me anything about what this image is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see, this is a student with a camera. So I'm going to say student with camera. I put dashes in there, but you can leave spaces. It's really fine either way. So there's my picture name. I'm also going to check my save location. I'm going to save it in the folder on my desktop in website images folder. And the next thing I need to do is come down and save it as a certain file type. So I'm going to click the little plus sign right there and scroll down through the list and find JPEG image. Okay, so let's check what we've done so far. We've renamed the file. We've checked the folder where we're going to save it. And we've also selected JPEG image. Once we know we're good there, we're going to click the export button. All right, so export image as JPEG box comes up. Here's where we can actually help. Right now, I mean, the file size is still what it was, but here's where we can actually save the file size option. So we can scale it down to make it to where it's ready for web. So I'm going to click Show Preview in Image Window, so that way I can see when I scale it down in quality what it's affecting my image. So right now it's at 90%. I'm scaling it down to 70%. Still looks good. 50% looks good. 50% really looks good. Now, watch what happens when I go all the way down to 6% or 2%. Really looks crummy, doesn't it? And the file size is 17 kilobyte, which is great, but it's not great as far as how it looks. So I'm going to scale it up from there 30% doesn't look too bad, but you might notice a little bit. I'm going to go with 50% because 63 kilobytes is still not too bad of a file size. And so when you're done adjusting your quality, and you can go less if you want, it's up to you, you decide. Once you're satisfied with the way it looks and the quality size, file size, click export. And so now you're done. So the last step that you need to do is go to your folders. And there it is. It's right there next to my original. And so what I can do now is I can go to the website and go to the image slider section and upload my new image. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me and Jared Gleim and at EVSC iCats, and check out this and other tutorials on our YouTube channel, and also look for other information on the iCats website at evscicats.com.